kind of an interesting 5 days for us, and or 7 days since our last game, 5 days, 6 days, whatever it is, for our program, and a new experience for me to have a non-conference game after you have the Air Force game, and then to go recruiting this weekend, and then to come back and have 4 days prep for a big road game. So just kind of a new experience for me. I think the biggest thing for us right now is our energy level, adapting to play with the depth we have at our big spots, and to keep getting better. Those are the, kind of my focus for this time of the year. Keep our energy level up, keep improving. And the only way you improve is to practice hard and to compete every day. So we're kind of dancing that, fine line of getting better. Kim Tilley's status is he'll do a little bit today. We'll see how it goes. Do a little bit tomorrow. See how it goes. I would say he's doubtful for Wednesday, and I would say he's doubtful for Saturday, but we'll see how it goes. So I guess that's my old NBA days, doubtful, probable. It's kind of how they do it. Probable means you probably play. Doubtful means you probably won't play. So I'd say he's doubtful for Wednesday. We'll see how it goes. Stephen Way is out, and I don't know how that's going to play out. I would think he's out for at least 3 more weeks. He is out of the soft cast. He is walking around, so that's encouraging. San Diego State, most athletic team we've played up to this point. Obviously, they're coming off a huge road win in our league. I think road wins are precious for the way this thing is shaping up. Very difficult to win on the road, similar to me to the Big Ten. It's just hard. It's just hard to do. People are prepared. People are well coached. Some points of emphasis for us against San Diego State is their offensive rebounding, their forcing turnovers, their paint twos. Those are, to me, are the keys to that game. We have to try to neutralize their athleticism, which is very difficult to do. They're a great spurt team where they can make a run at you in transition, making shots, which is what they did to New Mexico. They made some big-time runs in that game, took the lead, and then really never looked back. They were down 14 in that game at one time. So the last 25 minutes of that game, they really outscored New Mexico on their home floor. So very intimidating on film watching San Diego State play. Other than that, guys, I'll open it up. Well, we have to do what we do, which is keep people in front of us, make them play over us, get back in transition. In league play, layups and paint twos are usually the difference in the game. Usually it's kind of a scrum. Whoever can get 2 or 3 more layups or 2 or 3 more paint twos, it's usually the difference in the game. 6-8 point game, which you see a lot of the games are like that. So obviously that's a big point of emphasis with us. It's been all year. And but I think if we can make some shots and offensively execute and make them take the ball to the net instead of running out on our misses, we got a good chance. I think that's a big part of it. Some of that's common sense, but I also think your team has to understand that part of it. Yeah, it's a fine line. I talked to Izzo about that a ton, and I've talked to some other coaches who I have relationships with, and when do you know when to stop and move on to something else? When do you think you have it? Or is a fresh mind and a fresh body more important than those reps? I think every coach this time of the year wrestles with it. And that's part of that balance and understanding your team and knowing your guys. I try to get a lot of feedback from my guys. We preach toughness, we preach competitiveness. And there's a point where you fight through being tired and you bear down, and there's a point where you're tired and you need a break. And we're going to do our best to handle that situation, that give and take, on that deal. And you know, it was big in the pros. I think that's where my pro experience does help, is that, you know, it's hard to practice in the pros, so you have to get a lot of things done in a short period of time. You got to get to the reality of the situation where you understand the things that you really have to get done, the things you can show on tape, the things you can walk through, and the things you need to do live. And we're trying to strike that balance, and I think my staff and I have done a good job of that so far, but that's going to be key as we go into this run, especially shorthanded without Kim and Steve. Yeah. I think, you know, I just try to tell my guys that the hoop's still 10 feet, the court's the same size. You know, if you focus on playing on the road, I think it's a mistake. If you focus on doing the things that you have to do to win, which is getting your stance, play defense, communicate, rebound, the basics of the game should take over more to me on the road instead of talking about being on the road. And that's what we talked to our guys about. And, you know, I thought we've learned that as we've gone. You know, at Washington, I thought we had chances to win that game. Defense broke down a little bit at the end. Decision-making broke down. We go to Oregon. We're right there. We got 4 stops in a row. Can't get a bucket to get it to 2 or get it to 1. You know, the hoop's the same size. Everything's the same. You got to make some plays, and you got to understand that your foundation and your system has to carry you through, road, home, whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that's what we talked about back in July when we were when I was meeting with Dr. Hill and we were talking about the schedule. You know, that's what we talked about. How do we prepare this team for conference play? You know, our league is a very good league, and, you know, New Mexico's a tough place to play. BYU's a tough place to play. San Diego State's a tough place to play. You know, Vegas is obviously a tough place to play. So why not have some experience of that in the preseason, in the pre-league? And that's exactly why we did it, Mike. Yeah, Morgan will play. Morgan will play more. Yeah, and smaller guys will play more. Morgan will play more. Luke's going to have to get extended. You know, Luke plays 37 minutes against Air Force, and you know, Luke's going to have to get extended some and be prepared to do that. He's taking more reps in practice and obviously trying to keep his conditioning where it should be. But, you know, foul trouble will dictate, Mike, a lot of how much we play Luke, how much Sean plays. But I think it's no secret those guys got to play more minutes, and then we might have to go small at times, which we've done. You know, I think the other thing I'd like to say is just, you know, Steve Fisher, I've known the guy for 25 years. I was in high school when he was recruiting one of my teammates. I've known him and been around him, and class guy. He's been very good to me since I got the job. He was actually excited for me that I was, you know, given this opportunity and having a chance to be here. And it's kind of neat. And obviously we'll be competing, but it'll be strange for me to coach against a guy who was recruiting, you know, and at Michigan when I was in high school. That's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a cool thing, kind of a weird thing. But I'm sure when the whistle blows, we'll forget about all that stuff. But I didn't get a chance to watch any of the games. I watched the San Diego State on tape, obviously, last night and this morning. But I just think it's a very competitive league. There's new coaches. There's new systems. There's a lot of talent in our league. You know, I think Tim Anderson goes for, what, 30, or what did he get, 31 or something? Is that right? Or 27, excuse me. He had 31 the game before our game against Wake Forest. So, and then the home court thing kind of stuck out to me, just how hard it is to get a road win and how much that New Mexico win by San Diego State is going to pay off for them in the long run, because I don't think New Mexico is going to lose much at home. So, but I haven't seen all the games, so I don't want to jump the gun. But we're all trying to hang a banner, you know. We're all trying to win a championship. And, you know, any way you can get your team to focus on that and be prepared, I think is a good thing.